You're listening to the Who is Christine Anyway podcast season 2. Today's guest is Ryze Hendricks. Enjoy.
So, and I'm assuming you were actually probably proficient in that class. Like, and when I say proficient, I mean like you felt more productive. You were successful in the sense. And it's weird to put that sensation out there. I was voted most unique in my class, which was interesting. But it was something. Those senior superlatives, I tell you. But it's weird to think though, because that like I go back to my old teachers, the ones that let me do what I needed to do. Like, and then I was kind of I learned that was like such an evil laugh. I hated homework. And I'm like, I'm here 6 hours. I'm not going home to be here 2 more technically. So
Yeah.
and I had to go to work, we were living in poverty. It was kind of crazy. So I learned that I'm like, if I just kind of get to the point where there's internal suspension, right? Like it was so funny. So I had internal suspension in this little room with 3 desks. I'm like, this is way fucking better. I get to self-teach myself. And then I was in like honors for like French, and I took Spanish too for funsies, I guess. And my French teacher would come down and he would like covert op me out of the room. Like he would like look both, because when you're in internal suspension, you weren't allowed to use the vending machines. You could have your tray of prison level lunch. And that's what you got. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Nobody's talking to me in here. I'm good. And I'm like, think about it. I can just avoid 5 days of detention and just do 1 day of internal suspension. So it made sense. So he would break me out. It was like 8th period. And we'd have to go outside under the overpass, up the stairs. And then we would go into the cafeteria. I'd get a bag of Smart Food and a blue Powerade, and I'd march my ass back down there. And since he was, my French teacher, we'd both speak French back and forth to each other. Nobody's fucking understanding us, and nobody's going to ask us questions. And we'd go back in the room. And it was funny because I'd bring my binders full of my contracts and all of the things I was trying to learn. So I found that I could just bang school right out in an hour and then have 5 hours to fucking do what I wanted to do, read a book. Right. And then I knew my guy was coming in. We were going to get some popcorn and some Powerade, and I'm good. It was, and the thing was, is like, I was in honors for his class because it felt like the environment was safe. Like I could go up to the board and go, I don't know what the fuck this is. And I know he's not going to like cast this wizardly spell of detention and anger and vitriol at me. I know he's going to be like, you just conjugated. I boat, we boat, you boat. It's like, I don't know. So it really is kind of hilarious. I love that you were the class. I love that you had that experience.
Like you said, safety. It was a sense of comfort. It was something about, and I guess it was just it's instilled in me at an early age. Like, you know what I mean? It just entertainment, music, entertainment. It all tied in right there.
Laughing can fix so much. Like, that's why I'm like saying, like, go to the children's museum, because like you just go there and you don't have to think about anything adult. Like I'm on fucking Sesame Street. Like I'm not thinking about my fucking bills. I'm not like, what's the electric bill in that fucking street like, Big Bird? It doesn't work like that. So it's kind of one of those things. But you would be an amazing cartoon character, like doing voice acting.
Oh yeah.
You would be so fun.
I would. I actually thought about doing that too. Like I could do voice acting. I mean, obviously I do a bunch of different for my characters.
Back to that. You're so versatile. You're so versatile, like as a person. And I don't want to say as a product because it dehumanizes you, but as a it's not that you're just talented. Do you realize that aside from your, like I'm holding it like it's a talent thing, you are able to utilize it yourself. You're a talent in motion. Does that make sense? And you don't just stay in one place, which is really great, because stagnancy will kill learning, which will kill movement, which will kill growth. And that's something you just kind of learn through marketing in the story. And you have such a great story. That is so funny. First of all, that makes perfect sense. About that. That music teacher got up there and is like, that's your son. She just said it to your mom when he got up there. And she's like, I know. So
like I like being in all these different pockets because I'm just I just love to create. You know what I mean? Like,
don't ever stop. Don't ever stop. You're so fucking inspiring. Like I'm so proud of you.
yeah, I can't just do one thing. And I think that's part of like being an actor too. Like you want to play different roles, you want to try different things because I really like to be creative, you know? Like if I stay in one lane, I'll fucking go crazy. You know what I mean? So that's why I like to try this thing. Oh, let's put a video out of with real gangsters today. All right, tomorrow let's do a weird bars video. The next day, all right, let's put something out with Benjamin Brockovich, you know, the nerd character. Let's do him. And then I'll be like, okay, I feel like just talking about some real shit as myself. So let me put something out as me. You know what I mean? So it keeps creating fun. You know what I mean? If you're doing the
I
same
do.
thing over and over and over, it gets kind of, it gets
It's
kind of
not
boring.
creative.
So yeah. So that's why I like to bounce around and do different things because it keeps it fun for me. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
it's the creative process though. When you think of creatives and artistic people, I have never, and I mean, I'm like you. I've got books going. I've got my podcast. I'm a venue manager, a marketing manager, a teacher. Like I got like so much. It's ridiculous, but I love it. And it's like you. I'm like, what am I going to do today? I'm going to do this. But it's the creative process, and that's the thing. Is like you as an artist need to be understood that some days you may just want to lay flat on the floor, like just done with the world. And then some days you get 15 things done, and you're just do, 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 do. But eventually, you need that break. And then something happens, you become more creative. There's a process. It's literally called process because you have to do that. And like some days you go through bursts and you're like, I'm going to be this guy. And you might do 4 weird bar videos and then maybe this and then that. So when you look at that, it's kind of like looking at, we talk about these charts that are the lines up and down, and you have to look at where those lines intersect. And I love the fact that you do honor yourself in there too, because that is super important. And I know you're like, I don't even know this crazy bitch, but I'm proud of you. That I don't think people realize the weight and work level that goes into being a content creator, let alone one on TikTok, let alone one with 8 million people.
Yeah.
That's a
No.
lot between the editing, the performing, the alignment, and the
Every-
promotion. And then, you have to interact with your fans and engaging. And it's you. You are your entire team.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't speak on behalf of 8 million people, but I am so proud of you for all the work you've done. And you should be like, I know there's so many people that I even know that they watch your content on the regular because it's inspiring to them to just, they're like, even if something's like gone to shit, they're just so relaxed. They're like, this is funny. I can relax. I'm like, yeah, not everything is serious. We all die in the end. It's just how it goes. So just enjoy yourself and laugh it
You
off.
gotta have fun in the process. Have fun while you know what I mean, while you're here. But yeah, I appreciate you though. I appreciate you for that, man. It means a lot to me, and it keeps me humble. I try to stay humble as much as I can because when I stay humble, it keeps me hungry. And everybody's encouragement and knowing that everybody's like inspired, that's what gives me the fuel to keep doing it. Beyond me loving or having a passion for this, it's definitely the fans that keep me motivated, that keeps me going.
I just hope you realize that there is an entire generation, I mean, that is below us, like that is in school, that is developing their musical talents. I mean, obviously they're called iPad kids and stuff like that now, but they're watching it and they're learning flow from you and they're
Yeah,
learning lyricism. And at the
yeah,
same time, they're also learning humor and they're learning a healthy coping mechanism because what you're
mm,
doing is teaching them to create. Don't get angry. Don't be pissed off. Don't do this. Make something. Do this.
mm.
Challenge yourself. And I think that is like one of your most underrated qualities is the impact, not just the fact, yes, obviously 8 million, blah, 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 all these other crazy things, but the
Yeah,
immense impact you have on the music community that is beyond the TikTok world, that is beyond Instagram, that is beyond everything else. And that is, I was reading through all comments aside from laughing my ass off doing my research last night on you. And some of those comments are phenomenal. It's amazing to think that it's not that amazing because I see how much talent you have, but it's also like, wow, you've altered somebody's life. And at the same time, you're like, this is just so fucking funny. Like, I gotta say this, I gotta do this.
yo, one of my favorite stories, right? I was on tour. See, and that's the thing about content too. You know what I mean? Like, it brings people together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's the beauty. That's the beauty in it too. It brings people together. And I was on tour last year, and I'll never forget this. I had a show in Miamisburg, Ohio.
Of
And
course, fucking Ohio would have a place called Miamisburg. Anyway,
no, right?
sorry.
Miamisburg, like what?
That's what I was like. What the fuck? But okay.
Yeah. And after I get off stage, if we don't have like a meet and greet set in place, I'll just come out and mingle with all the fans. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
mingle with all the fans, talk to the fans. Thank you for coming out and stuff like that. And these two guys came up to me, and the guy was like, "Listen, I want to tell you this story, man. It's gonna be a little tearjerker for you." I was like, "Oh man, what's up, man? Let me have it." And he said, "Me and him, we're brothers. And when our mother passed away a few years ago, and when our mother passed away, we kind of like split, we separated, and we haven't talked to each other in years. And your videos brought us back together."
Teary-eyed?
When stuff like that is like,
That's so huge.
you gotta keep going. You gotta keep doing this. Like, you're bringing people together. Like these guys are brothers. They've been away from each other. They haven't seen each other in years, talked to each other in years, and they would share the videos back and forth, and that's how they developed their relationship again, and it brought them back together.
You were the deviled eggs.
I was the deviled eggs, man.
You brought them back together. You were the picnic pancake eggs. You were good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's so amazing though. So like, man, Ryze, I hope through life, and I know like I'm one of 8 million people. I hope through life, and I hope through your career, you always, and I again, like I said, I love Gary Vee. You'd like Mark Manson too, by the way, the author.
Mark Manson. Who's Mark? That name's
He writes Everything is Fucked, a book about hope, and he writes another one that's really good. And it just flows so good, and he's always giving advice like, just do the fucking thing. And that is really the best advice you can really have. Stop thinking about it. Do the goddamn thing. You're gonna suck your first few times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, you're gonna, and I look like you. I look back at my stuff and I'm like, this is so cringe. Sometimes I still even like look at stuff and I'm like, ooh, goddamn. You know, there's moments where if you're not doing that, then you're not growing. And it's one of those things where it's kind of like, I hope in the back of your head, you know, there is such an army of people, and myself included, you're just fucking do the goddamn thing, Ryze. Like, just do it. Like, just throw it out there. We'll see what happens. It's just kind of like, I won't say throwing shit in the wind, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I hope you feel that. Yeah. You know, because that one moment where you're just kind of like, is bringing brothers back together. That's heavy.
Heavy.
You've saved lives for people that went to combat. You've brought families back together. Your content has united people. It's got them through the pandemic. It's got them through loss. It's got them through probably having kids in the middle of the night and the baby's screaming and all just watching your videos because they just need to fucking think. You know, it's incredibly impactful with that sense of humor that music teacher knew, saw, and loved, just like your mother did. Yeah. Encouraged. So I just hope you know how amazing you are. I really do.
Yeah. Thank you.
I really love your musicianship, and I really love your marketing ability. Like, you are so business savvy too. And I think that's the intellectual side of you shines like perfectly through. Like, it is just like when you talk to you can hear it, and you're going, well, I can't stop. And it's like, you should be like that. You should be hungry. You should be consistently pushing.
Yeah.
If you stop, if you stop moving, you stop learning, you stop growing, stop everything. So you got to keep fucking.
Got to keep going. Got to keep doing it.
They call it like ADHD when we were growing up. Now we're all doing our thing on the internet, and we're like, maybe it's not ADHD.
Yeah. Got to keep moving. Keep going. Keep doing it for your sanity.
It is, and it is true. It is good for your mental health. But you know, I'm really glad you do some stuff for yourself in there too.
Yeah, definitely. Because sometimes I don't want to be funny. Sometimes I want to be serious. You know what I mean? Sometimes I want to come.
You mean you're a real fucking human?
Right. I'm human. You know what I mean? So I like to be serious too. That's why I'm excited about the fans hearing my new stuff, like my new serious stuff. I'm putting some stuff together now with my shout out to my boy Peasy, Paul Hendricks. I don't know if you ever heard of him, Baby Paul, but he's a legendary producer out of New York. He produced for like Nas, Fat Joe, Redman, Smith and Wesson, those
Are you
guys.
going in with him?
And I'm working with him. We putting out an EP together, so I'm
Oh, you're
excited.
such a yeah. You should be fucking excited about that. Holy crap!
Excited. But
That's amazing. Like you're doing so much shit. Like you are really like every hand in the pot in the kitchen, dude.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad you've got the original stuff coming out, and keep doing the original stuff too. It's kind of like double Dutch jump rope, which I really can't do either. But double Dutch jump rope, it's like throw your shit in there too, and it'll just kind of like washing machine up and in there. And it's, I mean, all your stuff is phenomenal, even your serious stuff. So I'm so happy for you. I really am. I think the algorithm gods got it right when they picked you. And the fact that I think the fact that you're an upstater is amazing too. Much love to Buffalo. It's, you guys got some cool shit done. I fly out of there when I go to LAX and stuff. I used to do the direct flight from Buffalo right over to LAX, and then JetBlue stopped flying out of there. I loved the airport because it was not so busy.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me a direct. It was like 5 hours right out of there to LAX, but they stopped doing that. So I'm not getting on Southwest. Right now, I'm not getting on any airplanes given their track record, but
yeah, especially the beginning of this year. Oh my God! Like all the crashes this year so far is like, I gotta fly to Vegas in a few months, man. Like
Vegas is fun. Together. You're gonna have fun in Vegas.
Fun town, very fun town. Yeah, I was nominated for the music award again. So yeah, I'm going to the.
We're gonna manifest that turning into a win is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we get a victory. This is actually, if I win, this will be the second year I won that award. So
we're gonna manifest it. It's gonna happen. We're gonna go all the way to a three-peat. We're gonna get for 3. That's our goal. And this may be number 2. Let's go for a three-peat. So it's definitely well deserved. And your stories are amazing. I love your stories, and I thank you so much for sharing them with me. I think I feel beyond honored that you have the conversation with me. And like I was like, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm just gonna fucking throw it out there because this is fun. This is something that the podcast is great because everyone kept saying you should do a podcast to me because they want to listen while they're driving and whatnot, and they think it's interesting. They're like, if we could hear your phone call, which is a creepy statement to say to someone, if I could hear your phone calls, then I would love to hear. And I'm like, what do you think I'm doing? But it's kind of funny because a lot of the phone calls with I love like-minded and opposite-minded people because I love what everybody brings to the table. I love multifaceted people like you who can create, distribute, and somehow find a way to balance yourself in there. I know there's not always going to be perfectly good days too. There's just not. Like I mean, even me, like I have days where I'm like, I'm not getting off the fucking couch. Like and then there's days where I'm like, I can get so much done.
Mm-hmm.
I got Post-its over here that tell me what's up. Like I think I've got one that's like her own thoughts and reflections were habitually her best companions. Like it's just I have all the best, like it's interesting quotes and stuff, and people will come in and write on my board. Like one person wrote no loyalty and lethal precision. I'm like, okay. Little 15th century drawn, hung and quartered, but we'll go with that, I guess.
Some deep shit right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's because I read, so they were like, yeah, or they're I don't know. Maybe they'll go. I've never been to prison. Maybe they'll go first, but if they go, I know they have no loyalty. So, but I think it's amazing. What you're doing is amazing. It's impactful. You're going to get that award, I'm manifesting it, and you're going to continue to do great things. And I think, the few stories you told me, I think you really should hear more of these stories from these people. Yeah. I personally do, because I know there's so many of them. I mean, obviously 8 million, but there's so many people that are just like, I was trying to quit drinking and I needed to laugh, you were there, like, because you don't realize it. It's like you're in their living room in that weird way. Again, them in my phone calls, you in their living room.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, because people watch these. They don't just watch these on their phones. Some people go on YouTube on their TV. and it's
Yeah,
on there.
how does that feel? Like you're big in their house. Like you could be
Crazy.
like projector on the wall.
That's what I mean. Like, so it's wild, man.
I
It's
always
really
felt like TVs had like a size cutoff. Like, and I only felt that way after like my aunt got one where it was like when I walked in, she was watching Cops and it was like life sized. I'm like, motherfucker, it turned into a horror film real quick because like the TV was so big that people were actually sized of people, and she had put it like kind of too low. So it was like it was fucking running at you right there.
I feel like they was right on top of you and shit. Yeah.
Jesus is a it's not. It's just the TV, and now you're. It's just so crazy. It's crazy to think that. It's crazy. So I'm so proud of you. I think I've said that 50 times.
Mm-hmm. It's all right. I like
you.
hearing it. I like hearing it because I just love knowing that my work is appreciated. So it just makes me feel good, and
Just
I just
do the damn thing. Don't stop. Do the damn thing.
do it. Keep
Always.
doing it. Get back to the drawing board and know that now instead of me just creating and having fun, in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, they're gonna love this.
Business moves. You're playing chess, not checkers. Is what you're doing.
They're gonna love this. They're gonna love this. I got something. I got something special for them. So yeah.
So I'm going to end the recording of the podcast, and then I will catch up with you real quick for a second. But thank you so much for everything. Really, truly, this has been just marvelous. It's been a great talk. I don't even know if we had a time limit. I think we just kind of kept going. We could just kind of float. So
yeah, but I say we just keep vibing. Yes, it's 7:15.
Like so you're cool shit. So I'm gonna say thank you on here now, so everyone knows I did thank you, and I'm not a total asshole. And I'm gonna stop the recording. So everyone should definitely go to your Cameo. For sure, snatch up one of those little cameos, and it's you personally, and you've got a quick turnaround, great rating, it's great. And to continue commenting, sharing, saving, especially saving, and kind of following along in the content, and make sure they're keeping their eyes out for that EP's coming out. When is that? Later this year, sometime?
We're aiming for like the spring.
Spring. Shit! It's like right around the corner.
Yeah. I got 4 songs done, and we're gonna do like 1 or 2 more songs, and then they're gonna mix, master it, and we're gonna try to put it out. The goal is to get it out before the tour. The tour starts in April, so we're gonna try to get it out before then. If not, we're gonna at least have 1 or 2 songs out by the spring.
I'm so proud. That's amazing. And everybody needs to catch that when that comes out. Put that where it needs to be so we can get it, please.
Yep.
We want something to cringe about later too, or to hide in our little stashes.
Thank you for listening. I would like to personally thank Ryze for taking the time to appear on this episode.
Visit www.whoischristineanyway.com for access to all the social media links and additional podcast episodes.